Howdy folks, Tex Grebner here with Tex Grebner Outdoors. Hope you guys are ready for your Tex Grebner Outdoors Saturday morning cartoon awesomeness, because it's Illinois Archery season 2019, week number 8. Yeah, that's right. We've had 8 weeks of the slow descent into madness, and guess what? The pressure is really on this week because the Blaze Orange Battleground is about to start up. These are my last hunts before the shotgun season starts. Now, to be totally honest with you, not hunting shotgun this year, not because I've got anything against gun hunting, but mostly because I kind of need a break, and also the fact that there's just too much to do, so I might as well just not get shotgun tags and get some stuff accomplished on the farm while people are out of town. Of course, if you guys want to support the channel in a way beyond simply watching the videos, you can go to texgrebneroutdoors.com. Check out the Make It Weird sticker, the Make It Weird shirt, the Life Ain't Like the Pornos, Hunting Ain't Like the TV Show shirt, because by God ain't that the truth, and of course my personal favorite, the Kill with Stick shirt. If you guys are looking for a discount on all your trad life supplies, you can go to threeriversarchery.com, check out their merchandise. You're probably going to be shopping there anyways, and it's going to give you a discount on your shipping if you use the code of Tex Grebner in your checkout. But it also shows your support for Tex Grebner Outdoors at the same time. Now, you don't have to be in good shape to be a good hunter, but as a hunter, you will never regret being in good shape. So I strongly recommend, if you're looking for a reason to start a fitness journey or you need motivation to continue a fitness journey, that you check out traintohunt.com, become involved in the Train to Hunt Challenge. I hope to see you guys one of these days at a Train to Hunt National Championship, because you don't have to be in good shape to be a good hunter. But as a hunter, you will never regret being in good shape. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy this week's episode of Tex Grebner Outdoors, because life ain't like the pornos, hunting ain't like the TV shows, and I bring you the reality of the Illinois archery season. So I literally just pull up here and you have got to be kidding me. Really? What the hell, bro? In the pasture. This is funny. And I know there is literally no way that I'm going to be able to get to him on this flat ground. Oh boy. Well, as disappointing as that is at least a good sign. Damn, that's a big buck. I don't know what else to say. I literally just pulled across the dam. I'm getting ready to get out of the Jeep, and I look over, and there's this horse with horns. Wow. I mean, if I didn't know any better, that looked like a muley. Holy shit. I went down to the public land yesterday. I didn't have any time to shoot any video, mostly because I was pulling out my stand, my camera mounts, my ladder sticks, basically everything. I'm not abandoning the idea of hunting the public land, but I've also only got enough camera arms to outfit 3 stands because naturally, as you guys know, I'm not made of money. And the reason that I did that was because I got some amazing news. You see, all my life, I've wanted to hunt Jim McKee's timber. I've literally stared across this property line and watched deer for years and years. Like a poor kid window shopping at the candy store. And finally, I got access to it. Why? I don't know. Maybe I've paid a debt of suffering to God. But, as you saw earlier today, the gods of the hunt have a real sense of humor, showing me that majestic, glorious bastard of a buck. But I got down the hill. I found a good spot, reading the sign, where they were actually going to be moving around at. But there was only one problem. After I got everything hung up, it started to rain. The good news is I'm actually field testing a New Zealand brand called Swan Dry. It's basically hydrophobic heavy wool. Now I had two ways that I could have faced this tree stand. And I decided that I was going to face it toward the hillside. That way the animals would funnel through on that trail. But then I apparently was wrong, because just before it started to get dark, a deer came in behind me. And I got caught getting my bow off the hanger, because between heads and tails, I called the wrong side of the coin. And then the rain picked up. And I was practically glad that I hadn't actually shot that deer, because the blood trail would have probably got washed out if I didn't spine shoot it and have it drop on the spot. But then I could see other deer moving around out in the thicket. Now it's possible that the rut might be getting kicked off here if it isn't already in full swing. Now normally 33 degrees and raining is absolutely nightmare deer hunting conditions. And you know that I am not normally a product-oriented person. But based off of my experience earlier in the season with my first light jacket leaking versus sitting in the rain in this Swan Dry stuff, it's like night and day difference. Because when you get wool wet, it still stays warm. It doesn't stay comfortable, but it does stay warm. And so I couldn't believe that the waterproof wool was actually working as advertised. I mean, granted, it's more than 100-year-old company, but still, the rain was literally beating off of my Swan Dry jacket or ranger shirt and just dropping off. Of course, I am going to have to swing this stand around the tree. It's hard to describe what it's like walking into McKee's Timber across the fence, mostly because I've wanted to hunt it my entire life. It's like walking through a fairy door of honeysuckles into an enchanted magical forest where dreams can come true. Now, that may be because I'm not jaded to it yet and it's still a brand new adventure. But there is also the fact that I know that it's a unused cattle pasture, so the old grass section of the hayfield across the creek is way overgrown, perfect deer bedding habitat. There's plenty of oak trees over on this side of the fence, and the deer trails are wore into the ground as deep as our cattle trails. So sitting in the tree, it is so damn exciting, especially because just as the darkness will create a phantasmagoria before dawn, when the undergrowth is good and thick and you actually have a legitimate thicket, you never know when a deer might just walk out like a ghost, especially because the leaves are still a little bit wet from the snow melting and the rain. At any moment, a deer could walk into view. And the key is that you've got to see them before they see you, especially when you're filming, because I know I've said this before and I'll say it again. You have got to be on your A game, get your camera swung, and get your bow into position. Of course, then, I've got to make the shot. And so as the sun goes down, you get really excited. But then as the sun starts rolling down much, much faster, as if it's gaining momentum, you start thinking, well, something better show up soon, because I'm not looking forward to having a blood trail in the dark. Okay, so I can't believe that I'm doing this. I'm buying snake oil. Mostly because I can get into the keys, so I don't feel like I'm wasting money, because I know that they're through there. I can't believe I'm buying buck lure. There is a strange and savage serenity that comes along with sitting in the woods, especially when nothing is showing up, because there are so many sights, so many sounds that will drive you crazy with imagination of what might stride out of the thicket. So many smells, and so many things that are just simply out of your control, which is why I say that it is a strange and savage serenity, because you are an observer in the natural world, but you're also a participant as a human predator, watching, waiting, and listening, and hoping, and praying, and worrying, and plotting, and scheming. So many things that are out of your control, and only a few things that you can actually control. A cold, misty, beautiful fall day, squirrels scampering through the leaves, sounding like a buck and a doe, chasing up and down the ridge. And you have to be able to enjoy failure. But as the sun starts to sink down, you start to think, oh, yes, 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 this could be the moment that something steps from cover and walks down the trail and gives me a shot. And oh God, help me if I miss or if I get busted. It's exciting. It is so absolutely, positively, titillatingly stimulating to be out in the woods doing something very challenging and being able to enjoy yourself in failure, because you can control the things that you can control. But nature simply does not care about your plans. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is why there has always been a deity, some form of God, that has been attached to the hunt. Because hunting is practically its own religion. You have to be able to decipher the secret text of the signs in the mud or in the leaves, to be able to understand where the trails are, to be able to read the ground for where you could find the trails, and be able to understand animal movement, animal behavior. These are beautiful animals, and I honestly question whether or not I actually want to kill one sometimes. The kill is essential to the hunt. But then there is also the fact that it's just some ramblings in my mind when I'm sitting there in the misty rain of a fall afternoon as the evening comes down. I wonder, what will it be like to finally be successful? Will it be an anticlimax? I can promise you I will most likely cry. And I almost fear success, because I love the thrill of the chase so much. Well, the gun season is going to start here pretty shortly. We're pretty much in the 11th hour of unmolested whitetail that haven't got PTSD yet. Life is strange. I don't know what else to tell you. Life is just strange. I lay awake in bed at night, envisioning deer walking down my trails, and envisioning and mentally preparing and going through the steps of the battle plan, trying to make sure that when the moment arises that I do my best not to screw it up. It was the absolutely perfect November day. Just perfect. Perfect wind conditions, perfect weather conditions, nice and comfortable, 40 degrees and pretty calm, wind blowing directly into my stand, cattle pastures across the fence behind me that I walked through, so I know that nothing's going to be coming out of there, because they're hardly ever in there to begin with. But life is strange, because on a perfect day, nothing shows up. Oh, I have absolutely no idea how I'm going to get something up this slick clay hill. I'll worry about it when I break the whitetail curse. Again, I swear to God, who other than me rappels into a whitetail hunt? Get down the hill, get across the property line, get up in the tree. Wind's blowing its guts out, but wind's blowing in my face. And the woods were just so loud from the wind rustling all the leaves on the ground and what few leaves were on the trees, which was good because it would cover a lot of sound. It was bad because it meant that I had to be hyper vigilant. The good news was this tree I was on was good and thick, so I didn't have to worry about getting tree sick. Now, it's hilarious how you can go from, oh, I ain't gonna see shit, this is so boring, to seeing a deer walk through the thicket alongside the bend in the creek. And instantly, I was snapped to attention, getting my cameras on and getting everything in position, because I knew that the rut was pretty much on at this point. But then again, I didn't know whether or not they were going to come off a lockdown and if they'd be moving around. Of course, the doe took a path along the creek up the ridge. And so I figured, you know what the hell? This is my last hunt, my last shot before shotgun season. So I decided I was going to get aggressive. So I unclipped off the tree after I let my bow down, and I still hunted my way up the ridge, hoping that that doe had bedded once she got up to the top. Or maybe that I might run into a buck on her trail at the top. You never really know. Luckily for me, I was able to move very quietly by walking on the moss that was good and soft. But also, the heavy wind really did a good job at masking the sound of my movement on the leaves. The wind was also blowing across me, and so it was so exciting, never knowing if she'd bedded down or if she had just kept on moving. And I also took this opportunity to do a little bit of active scouting, because once I got back to the top of the ridge on this side of the property line, I realized that this would be a hell of a spot to set a stand. Now, of course, the greatest irony was I couldn't find the deer anywhere once I got up to the top of the ridge again. Well, calling an audible here. Went up the hill after the doe, couldn't catch up with her, and I also didn't find her bedded. But we're going to be working some fell deeds by moonlight here. I'm going to take down this stand, move it closer to the creek. I may regret that, but I'm going to. This is the last moments of the first bow season, and I won't be in here again until after shotgun season. I also got winded by a deer when I was coming back down the hill that was coming into this stand, but oh well, I figured what the hell, I've got nothing to lose, I might as well get aggressive. So here we go. Gonna move this stand after dark, because it's what I'm good at. Well, at this point, here's hoping that next week I manage to kill with sticks, because I've been zeroing in click by click. Whitetail hunting is largely a high stakes game of whack-a-mole, because you got to be in the right place at the right time. The deer have got to be doing what they want to do, and it needs to fit in with your plans, which is almost never. And then you got to make the shot. But I did get my stand moved over, and I'm pretty hopeful, and I am so grateful. Like, you can't even imagine how awesome it is to finally have access to this timber. Funny thing is, the deer are probably tap dancing under my stands on the other side of the property line, because I'm over here now. I haven't given up on the public land. However, I think that the McKee property has a lot more promise, so to speak. I may get into the public land in the late season again. I don't know. I hunt for thrill of the chase, and the wily whitetail runs me a merry chase. Wily coyote is my spirit animal. Life ain't like the pornos, hunting ain't like the TV shows. And I tell you what, I bring you the reality of the Illinois archery season, because most of this stuff you just couldn't make up. So you're going to want to tune in next week for your Tex Grebner Outdoors Saturday morning cartoon awesomeness. As always, God bless all my sportsmen of America. Join the NRA to protect our rights. Please got my friends over at threeriversarchery.com. Thank you very much to those of you involved in law enforcement and those of you serving in the military. And thanks for watching Tex Grebner Outdoors.